Today we are creating a Windows bootable hard drive on Mac OS using Homebrew and wimlib so that we can get Windows installed on our new PC. What's up guys, my name is George. I'm a photographer and videographer based in Leeds. On this channel I create content all around photography, videography and tech. So if you're interested in any of that, be sure to subscribe and welcome to the channel. Today I'm doing a follow-up to a couple of videos I've done recently in which I've shown how to do a Windows 10 bootable USB using exFAT. While some people have had a bit of trouble doing this, I'm now going to show you a workaround for this problem using an MS-DOS formatted hard drive. We will be using Homebrew and wimlib, and we will be doing all of this within the Mac OS terminal app. If you haven't used terminal before, I hadn't really used it before I did this. It might look a little bit intimidating, it looks a little bit codey. For anyone that does do coding, you're gonna find this a breeze, but for anyone that doesn't, just bear with me. I have listed all the commands in the description below with the numbers next to them that I'll mention throughout this video. Pretty much just enter those as you go, and before you know it, it's done. It'll only take a few minutes. To get started, we're gonna insert our USB into the laptop. Here's my USB formatted here. I just have this reformatted as an exFAT so that I can then format it with you guys. First step is to open terminal, bring this up, and then I have listed all the text that you need down below in the description. I have this in a little text edit file over here. The first one we need is diskutil list. So you want to copy that over, and this will show us all the hardware that is currently connected to your Mac. So here we go. This is everything we're gonna need. We can see here that under disk 2, this is where our USB lives. Mine is named Windows 10, and the identifier, which is what we need, is disk 2. The next command that you'll see down in the description will be this one, diskutil eraseDisk MS-DOS Windows 10 MBR disk. And I've just put it down as diskN for you guys, but what I need is disk 2 because my identifier over here is disk 2. So you just need to change it for whatever your identifier is for your external USB. Then go back over into terminal and paste this. What this is doing now, that has now formatted that as an MS-DOS with the name Windows 10. Essentially what you would do in diskutil, just done in terminal. Now that our hard drive is formatted, go into your downloads where you have your Windows 10.iso. If you have not done this before, go check out this video in which I show you how to get your Windows 10 downloaded from Microsoft.com, or just Google Windows 10 download Microsoft.com and you'll figure it out. We want to go to our Windows 10 ISO, open this, just double tap it, bring up this volume, close this window, we don't need that. Then what you'll see here is the name of your Windows 10. This coincides with the one that I've got over here, x64 FRE English US DB9. If this is different to what you have, make sure to adjust your command to match what you have as your Windows 10 volume. You want to get that piece of text, just get it from the description. Go over to terminal, paste this as our next bit. What this is doing is creating the Windows installer apart from our install.wim file, because the install.wim file is the one file that exceeds a 4 GB limit. Now that this is done, you'll see that everything has been installed apart from the install.wim. The next thing we need to do now is install Homebrew. Homebrew is essentially an app that you install in terminal that lets you download other free apps from the internet to then run within terminal. Again, I had no idea that Homebrew existed until I had this problem. Then, luckily, turns out it's very, very useful. The next command in the description is number 4. You want to go there, copy that, and paste it into terminal. This will then download Homebrew for us. Just so you know, I've already installed Homebrew. It will still show some command for me, but what you want to do is just paste it, enter, and let it run. So I've gotten to this point, now I see it hit enter. It's downloading and installing Homebrew. It will soon figure out that I already have it. Cool. Yours may take a little bit longer than that, but it's essentially the same thing. So then now, all you need to do, you can go and copy this from the description if you want, but you can just type it. Just type in brew install wimlib. Hit that. You will see some magic happen at the top, and then a whole lot of stuff happen. I already have wimlib installed, so it's not had to do it. So I've got all this already. When you do run that install wimlib, it may take 2 to 5 minutes. It might take a little while. It may ask you for your user password, so if you do need to do that, just put in your password and it allows it to make any changes so that it can download and install. Now that we've got Homebrew and wimlib both installed, we can go and do our last command with wimlib, which is under number 6. And what this is doing is going to copy over our install.wim file and then split the over 4 GB install.wim file into 2 different files. It pretty much makes one 4.1 GB and the other about 400 MB. Take this command, go into terminal, paste that. This next part may take up to 5 minutes just while it's copying. You will see a little percentage saying 0% written. It might say that for a while at 0%, but it definitely is copying over. If you actually go and look at your Windows 10 USB, which has already had the rest of the volume copied over, you will see the available space begin to decrease. But this will just take a few minutes. Just while wimlib is working its magic, this just arrived in the post for me. This is my new 2 TB Seagate hard drive. It's an HDD. If that's something you're interested in seeing a video on, leave a comment down below. Do you want to see this being installed? You might already know how to do it. I have no idea how to do it, so I'm going to figure it out. I might make a video on it. When the process has been complete, you will see in your terminal that everything's been installed, part 1, which is the larger part of the file, and then part 2. Then we can go into our Windows 10 USB and we will see that the available space has gone down by the size of that install file. Go into your sources, go down to install, then we have here it is. So this is our install part 1, which is 4.18 GB, and then install 2, which is 400 MB. That is it. That is your Windows 10 bootable USB created on an MS-DOS. Normally, you haven't had to do anything like crazy. This is actually quite simple. It is a little bit intimidating at first, but once you've done it and you've seen the commands, it is quite simple. I'd like to thank my friend Ryan for sort of introducing me to this side of things, and also Alex Lubbock for posting this particular blog in which he showed this process. So this video essentially is just sort of summarized with visual aid of how to do this. You can now hit eject on your Windows bootable USB. It's now ready to go. You can plug this into your PC and get yourself booted up. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, leave a comment down below if you have any more questions, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and until next time, I'm out.